Welcome to Klage and Deek's Tip of the Week.
All right, this week we're going to talk about the top of our stick. And each portion of our stick is very important. Last week we talked about how we tape our stick. This week we're going to talk just about how we tape the top. Now, a few fun things that you can do is, this is my son's stick. And basically a lot of kids, they put their number on the front. And then some kids even put a saying on the back. So it's kind of fun things you can do. We need to make sure that the saying in the back is always clean. But it's just a fun thing that a lot of kids do. All right, so when we do the top of our stick, we need to make sure that just this portion here isn't too large. A lot of parents, they make them so big that the kids can't put their hands around it. All right, so when we start talking about just this portion of the stick, one thing we want to remind you guys, and if you see your kid do it, just make sure you correct them, and we always do in practice also, is a lot of kids we see, they're holding their stick like this, and even I see it at the Pee Wee level a lot, and we always correct them, make sure that their hands are at the top of their stick, and that's what this portion here is for, so that they can grab it a little bit better, and if the stick is on the ground, it's easier to pick up. So always just make sure it looks somewhat like this. Now everyone has a little bit different style of how they tape their stick. Some people like wrapping their tape and all that kind of stuff. But one thing we do want to make sure we do is not to let your tape go all the way, down to the middle of your stick. About 8 inches down is kind of where we need to be. But this is what a good tape stick looks like. Okay, so I'm going to start taping the stick, and this is just I've taken the tape off, and now we're going to start a new portion of the stick. Now, again, there's different ways you can do this. A lot of people, or some people, like taking it and they like twisting it. The reason they do that is it's just a little bit different grip. I never liked that as a player, but some people do. So one thing you always do is you actually put the tape a little bit over the top of the stick, and that's where you start taping it. Now again, we don't want to make this too big because we're talking about little kids and their hands are smaller. So we want to make sure that it's not so big that they can't have a good grip. So this is my son's stick, and he's 7 years old, so I make sure that I don't make it too big because he has smaller hands. Now, from there, again, it goes a little bit over the top of the stick, and now I just transition to put it right down to the remainder of the stick. And again, we're going to go about 8 inches down. We're not going to go all the way down halfway through down the stick. It makes it heavier. It looks awkward. We need to make sure we look like hockey players when we play. So again, we're going about 8 inches down. And just like the blade of the stick that we taught you last week, you overlap the tape when you're going down the portion of your stick. So 8 inches down, and then you just rip it off. And then also at the top, I'll just make sure you put that flat down so it looks clean and you're ready to go. So again, this is something you can do at home with your child. The goal is to make sure that they can tape the top of their stick and they can tape the blade of their stick. So now the last 2 weeks, you've learned how to tape a stick. Have fun working at home.
We'll see you next time for Klage and Deek's Tip of the Week.